Welcome. Thank you so much for attending. My name is Pär. I jumped on the train from Malmö this morning to come here. When I jumped on the train, I realized I had 60 slides. And then I saw the time allocation, so now I have 59. So we're going to make it. Don't worry about it. So the Metaverse from a developer's perspective, which is interesting because the Metaverse doesn't really exist, but I'll do my best. Just a few words about myself. I was introduced not to the Metaverse, but to virtual reality many years ago when the first Oculus Rift was announced and produced. And this coincided with me being on parental leave. So on my first day on parental leave, I was given this box with Oculus Rift. And I decided quickly that I had to do something with it, not only play games. And I decided to do something realistic within 9 months. Maybe just a simple virtual reality room with some lights. Maybe furniture, some material, colors, floor, ceiling. That would be like realistic for 9 months. Turns out it's pretty not only easy to use or easy to work with, but it's also extremely interesting and fun. So the entire vision of building a room derailed, and I ended up, I hope they're having fun. I ended up building a complete true to scale version of our office in Malmö. I even took my kid, his name is Ebbe, and I drove to the office to take pictures of the different images, colors, textures, material, everything. And I spent every waking hour working on this project. I even added a dinosaur and a few zombies and turned it into a zombie game. I also took care of my kid. I just want to say that. I didn't neglect him, he's okay. And ever since then, I've been working with virtual reality, and we can call it, augmented reality or the Metaverse. It doesn't matter, but I've been working, I've been interested in this. Never as a profession, but always as an interest. Enough about me. What about the Metaverse? So what is the Metaverse? It's a good question, because there are as many definitions as there are people on the earth. We don't really know. It's a fluffy concept. It's a hype, I would say. We have different interpretations of what it is, and we're not going to know in a few years. But I still want to try to define or explain how I see the Metaverse, because it's like people talk about NFT, blockchain, billions of users online. We don't really know. So I usually take, again, my kid. He's playing virtual reality. I take my kid and I think, okay, what will the Metaverse look like for him in, say, 10 years? And that's how I will try to explain it. He's playing Fruit Ninja. I don't know if you tried it. Amazing game. I had to carry him out of the room, otherwise he would still be there. So to explain the Metaverse, I would like to explain it from his perspective. So a day in Ebbe's life, say in 10 years. He's going to be in college or maybe high school or something, I don't know. He's going to wake up and he's going to go to school. He and his class is going to read up on the Mesozoic era in history maybe. That's when the dinosaurs lived. But instead of reading a book or watching a video, he and his classmates and his teachers are going to put on not a virtual reality headset, but a Metaverse headset. It's going to be a different form factor. And they're going to stand next to dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are not going to chase them because it's going to break the illusion. But they can see how they feed, how they breathe, how they eat, everything. And really participate in the world. And that could be history, could be a lot of different subjects. Maybe not math, because that's pretty abstract. It doesn't make sense to see that in a virtual world. He can discuss it with his classmates, but also with other classes around the world, like other peers and friends. He's going to go home and he's going to have a meeting with his grandparents who live some distance away. But instead of doing a hangout or just a phone call, he's going to put on these Metaverse glasses again. And he's going to meet his grandparents. But it's not going to be the grandparents with, the red mohawk and strange, avatar clothing. It's going to be like a lookalike. It's going to be a realistic representation of the grandparents. So you can see the expressions. You can convey humor, sarcasm. You can even see micro expressions. That's what we need. It's really awkward having a dialogue with your grandma who looks like a avatar today. It just breaks the illusion again. It doesn't make sense. So that's what we're going to have. He's going to move on, and they're going to play a lot of games, say Minecraft. It's going to be, again, in this virtual Metaverse world. And it's going to be so immersive that it's as if we were in a physical world, but it's digital. High resolution, true field of view, like at 200 degrees, 180. It's going to be amazing, maybe. And then it's time to go to bed, and it's going to be, he could read a book. They're not going to be outdated. They're still amazing. Or he could experience like a good night story in the metaverse with his girlfriend, boyfriend, friends, or with his parents. But it's going to take place in the metaverse. So that's a day in his life. That's the metaverse. It's a parallel digital universe. That's how I see it. For us as developer, it's going to be a bit different. I mean, maybe we're going to have a good night story, but it's more to the story. So as a developer, it would make sense, and this is maybe my vision, and maybe I will challenge you here, but what if we take the computer and we throw it away? And we take something that is better than a mouse, a very limited keyboard, and a two-dimensional screen that is like this big. It does make sense. And we throw it away, and we start doing development with our IDEs in the metaverse. It's a paradigm shift. We're going to have something completely different. So maybe we're no longer writing code because we have a three-dimensional space that we're working in. We've tried programming with boxes, drawing lines. It's not perfect. We need something very, very different. I don't have a solution. If you do a startup, be successful. Someone have to figure out how we do development in the metaverse, in the three-dimensional space, because it makes a lot of sense. This does not make a lot of sense. In 100 years, we're going to look back and people are going to say, you used a keyboard that was designed to be inefficient. Yes, we did, all of us. That's the metaverse. So a parallel digital universe, and also paradigm shift, because so much is going to change. Not only work-wise, but the social aspects of what we do is going to be very, very different from what we have today. Maybe, or maybe not. But that's the vision. So the question is, when will this happen? And just thinking about taking your IDE and transforming it into 3D is that's going to be such a huge research project. And we have to really think this through. It's going to be hard. But when will it happen? And some people say it's already here. Some people say it's in a year, 2 years. Some people say never. And I'm in between. I'll explain why. I think the metaverse the shift is as big as the internet. So if we think of the internet, this is a very brief history. It was announced in the 60s, and then nothing happened, and then nothing happened. And then in 95, 96, 97, it took off. And now we're more than 5 billion users on the internet. That's a very brief history. I understand that. So the ARPANET was announced by the end of the 60s, in the end of the 60s, and then nothing happened in terms of users. But we did a amount of research on the subject. So it took us 25 years to build or create the internet. And I think the metaverse is going to be the same. The question is, where are we? We've been building a lot of the key components for the metaverse for a long time. We just didn't realize it. But we haven't built all of them. We have a long list of things we have to fix. So maybe we're somewhere in the middle, in the 80s, I don't know. So my guess would be 10 years, 15 years, until mass adoption. Some of us are going to go home and we're going to still tinker with the MetaQuest headset and think that's amazing. But for this to be successful, we need large scale. We need billions of users. So we don't really know, but it's going to take time. That's my guess. Whatever people say about the metaverse being here, I really don't believe that. And here are some of the reasons why it's not here yet. We need better headsets. I don't know, have you tried a headset? How many of you? Yes, 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 yes. Familiar with the stamp of stupidity? Yes, yes, yes. I mean, you can joke about it, but I spend maybe 2 or 3 hours, not every day, but every now and then, and it's really awkward. And it's not as high resolution as we tend to think it is. It's really low resolution compared to what we're aiming for. So we need to fix that. We need to have something completely different. Connectivity, we have 5G, we have Wi-Fi, that's not going to be enough. Just 5 billion users live streaming with no room for latency. That's going to have like 6G, 7G, I don't know, but it's something very, very different from today. Energy consumption is going to be a huge problem as well. Just imagine all the servers running this. I don't even know who's going to do that. Amazon? No. Something different. We need platform interoperability. No one's going to fool me into thinking that Facebook, Google, Amazon, Microsoft are going to unite on a single metaverse. They're going to build separate universes. And then we need interoperability. If I buy something in one world, I want to keep that when I go through the different metaverses. We need to connect them somehow. Huge problem. Privacy and data security is also, again, a big problem. If you think you're giving away a lot of data to the big five today, that's nothing compared to what's waiting. Like we give away passwords, some emails, they know what we like. We're talking about biometric data that we're going to give away in the future, and that needs to be solved somehow, in a secure way. Mental health, we think digitalization is amazing, but it's still the fact that a lot of us is not doing very well. So that's another thing we have to consider. Law and regulations are not in place. Just look at the mess with NFTs. With absolutely, it's lawless, and that needs to be fixed. Ethics, cybersecurity, the list is long. And there's another thing, just have you put on a headset with people around you looking at you? It's pretty awkward. So we have, in our offices, we have a secluded room where we use when we work with virtual reality. And there is a single window to the outside world. It's 1 square meter. And that's enough for me to, every 15 minutes, just lift the headset and see if someone's there. Most of the time, there's no one there. And then sometimes. Stupid colleagues, right? And that's just, and when I work at home, it's always when kids and wife, I know they're going to bed. Otherwise, it's really awkward standing there with headset, whatever you're doing. Is Metaverse the same as virtual reality? I would say no. But virtual reality is the only thing we have today. It's the only platform we have for entering the Metaverse. So today we have VR, AR, and that's a certainty. In the future, we're probably going to have glasses. That's going to be a big shift. So forget about the virtual reality headset. Then maybe contact lenses. What if that can give the same video stream? And then we're going to have something else. I don't know what that is. And then chip implants. But none of us are going to be around when that happens. But maybe we can stream it straight into the head. Elon Musk is working on that, by the way. Very quickly on getting started, you have 2 options, Unity and Unreal Engine. They're both amazingly good. Unity uses .NET, and Unreal Engine uses C++. That was why I chose Unity. But they're both very capable. You can get started building a room with shadows and everything in just a few days. 9 months to build a game. They're visual editors as well. You can come a long way without any coding. Just download it and try it out. It's amazing. Unity.com, I will upload the slides. We have CG cookies for a few really good tutorials. Coursera has a few ones, and Blender if you want a 3D modeling tool to build your own models and import them into Unity. If you're interested in business value, then I would say don't go the Metaverse way, because it's not there yet. But focus on virtual reality, because there's a lot of things you can do in terms of education, training, manufacturing, using virtual reality and augmented reality. But if you want to go Metaverse way, it's probably going to be a marketing hype for now. Wait a few years until you do that. That's it. That was quick. That was quick. Yes, we have room for questions. Yes.
ARPANET was mostly developed by military and universities. Is it the same going with Metaverse?
No, that's a good point. So if you look at the ARPANET, it was, if you just remove the military industry, it was created with good intentions by researchers. Now we have Facebook and people who's interested in money building the Metaverse. So it's a completely different setup. So we're off to a not so good start.
That's my idea.
Anything else? Don't be shy. We have a whole minute to go. I'll hang around for a while if you have any more questions. Thank you so much for coming, and enjoy the rest of the conference.